Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We here at Salam Media, Alhamdulillah, are very, very proud to introduce and present a spiritual and educational journey with our friends, our Salam Media friends. This journey is to Al-Aqsa. It departs on the 25th of September and returns on the 2nd of October of this year. The tour is operated by Brother Ayub Dadabai. The package includes return flights on Ethiopian Airlines ex Johannesburg, 6 nights accommodation at the Hashimi Hotel in the Old City of Jerusalem, breakfast and supper included, ziyarats at Al Aqsa with renowned experts, local activities, and lots more. The price per person sharing is 29,999. And of course, if you want to be a part of this amazing tour, please do contact Brother Ayub Dadabai urgently. I don't have a number here. Here we go. You can call us on the Salam Media landline 011-680-0355. And please do be advised that there are limited seats on offer. So for this amazing Al Aqsa package, do contact us here at Salam Media 011-680-0355. And just to let you know that the tour is being operated by Brother Ayub Dadabai. The time 9:42. News and views on Salam Media.
Day by day. This is Salam Media.
9:43, and our next guest is, of course, Zakhele Madela, social and energy expert at the South African Energy Forum. We are going to be talking about the acceleration of the energy plan in South Africa. We hope and pray that it does come to pass. He's going to be giving us an update on the progress of this energy action plan. Is it on track? Are we making headway? Is it good news at the end of a very, very dark tunnel? Zakhele Madela, very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, my friend, and long time no speak. Good
Yes,
morning as well. Mm.
absolutely, absolutely. And we do look forward to speaking with you, very especially this morning. And I do hope that you can, that you will be giving us some good news.
Oh, definitely. I've got to remind you of the good news. When I last spoke to you guys, and I said under the radar will not be there by the Easter weekend, and when we started off in the year, we said the load sheddings were going to go down. Now we are saying by December, 1st of December, there should be no load shedding in this country at all.
And you stand by that, Zakhele. I must apologize, but I find this very hard to believe. You stand by what you're saying?
Yeah, let me put it this way. If in November last year, no, in October last year, I was on this radar with you, and I told you that under the radar would not be there by the Easter weekend, and that came from the fact that the
Yes.
system was not going to be sustainable. But let me come back to this one. I stand by this because what we've been able to do, we've been able to force the government arm a little bit, delay the premature closure of the coal power station, to be transparent about what is happening from a myriad of challenges that they have brought themselves to themselves. One of those challenges, well, a few of those challenges, is premature closure of the coal power stations, even though they are doing well. The
Mm.
other one is not financing the return of the units that break down, and also totally incapacitating the power station managers and the head of generation. But the biggest one that the head of generation has done at ESCOM was to centralize the procurement. What it means is, if you have a spare, you are short of a spare in Camden Power Station, you can't go and strip at Unit 3 in Dover, because that's what they've been doing. So
Mm.
now you have to go through a sub system and everything and get all layers of approval. But more than anything that has happened with the central procurement and then the central point of reporting is that The power stations are no longer operating in silos. Each power station manager knows what to do in his own power station in order for the ESCOM to come out and reduce load shedding. In the past, they started doing things in silos because they were not financed and they were told this is a dying horse. Don't worry about this. And it didn't matter how many times they shot. They were just not given the financial resources and the human resources and all other support mechanisms to be able to return those units or even keep them going. They were not.
So, Madele, let me ask this question. We also heard in the past, we heard a lot about sabotage at the different power stations. We heard about a lot of, obviously, issues at Eskom head office. We've heard about people doing everything in their power to sabotage and large scale stealing as well. How is that being addressed? Do you believe it's been addressed sufficiently? And because that is one of a very major part of the situation we find ourselves, that because it's being addressed, that the other things will start falling into place with the right management in place.
Absolutely, absolutely, my friend, because we now have a leadership that says, you got a contract with us. You got the people deployed in this power station, and we have their CVs and they've got the qualifications. And the agreement is that this job will be finished over this period. And if it doesn't get finished, there will be penalties. And you are here to fix the job, not to create more problems. Now, the management that is currently there, we've been asking them to ask those difficult questions because when you are a contract and you've got a contract, you've got to deliver. And if you don't deliver, you've got to be penalized. Now, in the past, we had a leadership that kept on talking about the sabotage as if people cannot be held into account. So now we have a leadership that is willing to say, well, your contract will be terminated, but your company also will be criminally charged by the Hawks and by NPA, which was not happening. We were just hearing about it. Now people can no longer continue sabotaging because a contract is a contract. You've got to deliver.
What
That's what
about
we have.
so what you've just said
Yeah.
to me, would that will that directly also address or is it addressing the issue about around tenderpreneurs?
It is definitely because if you had a contract to supply the valves and you knew that those valves had a certain specification and you were wanting to buy them from the black market and you've been delivering them because the leadership is busy howling and telling the public that they are being sabotaged. Now you know I've got a choice to supply a proper valve from that I bought from a reputable supplier because if I continue delivering the valve from the black market, all that's going to happen is I'm going to be kicked out of sight and I'm going to be pursued and my company is going to be closed down and I will lose. So it means there's a lot of spares that have been coming from the black market that are no longer finding their way because now the leadership is hard at work. Whereas with the previous guys, they would say, I need money to procure the valves. And the CEO and the leadership say, don't worry about that thing. It's dead. We don't have money for that. Now, this power station manager, he ends up accepting these inferior components. So as a result of the leadership that is hard at work, that is paying attention, but the biggest thing I keep repeating is the centralization of the procurement because it means a component or an equipment that goes to replace a one out component or an old one, it's got to be subjected to the scrutiny of the serial number and everything in the centralized procurement system and in the SAP system, and it's going to have a serial number and it will be verified that it comes from a reputable supplier because there's every effort that it must go to a power station. The previous leadership said, leave this power station. We are looking at renewable energy, wind and solar as a solution. Don't come here and ask us for money. We don't have money for these things.
So, Zakhele, let's look at a few issues that you've raised here. And I am going to be asking you about has Medupi returned, Medupi Unit 4, has it returned to service? There's a few other questions I want to ask you, but let's first go here. Who is policing all of that? You keep talking about you've got the right leadership or management in place, but up to now we haven't really heard in the media about heads that have rolled, and that's what we wanted to see as well. Has the crooked people been kicked out of the system, or have you still retained them because of their expertise or their supposed expertise at ESCOM?
Now, let me put it this way because I actually don't work for ESCOM myself.
I
But
know.
I think this is what has happened. What has happened, the people that have been taking shortcuts, the people that needs to be dealt with, and the people that were caught, unfortunately for them, they can no longer continue. Those ones that have been criminally charged, of course, their contract have been terminated. But those ones that have been suspected of being party to this, they've had to renew their relationship with ESCOM. They had to reprioritize. Let me give you a particular example. If you knew, if you knew that the wrong code is continuously being delivered to ESCOM, but you are hiding behind a guy who's hiding behind another, and you are a minor, now you know that you know what now there's a leadership there that is just going to trace all of these things all the way to my mind, and my mind is going to be on the spotlight that it is contributing to the damaging of the boilers. So now, you as a miner, you have to say it's my cause that goes all the way to the ESCOM boilers, and these are the people that have been entrusted to deliver it. I have to be involved and hands-on be involved because no one is going to go to the media and say the truck driver delivered the wrong code. Of course, the
Mm.
truck driver had nothing to do with the wrong code. The code comes from the mine, and the people responsible for bringing the code, the company that signed the contract is the one that must be put on the spotlight, and then it must go and sort its own driver. But we had Andy the Raider telling us about the drivers. We don't want the driver. We want the contract. What contract have you got? The ESCOM didn't have a contract with the driver. If you send them to Durban to go and deliver something and it delivers the wrong thing, the phone call should be at your company. Leave the driver. The driver, you'll sort him out because the driver works for you.
Okay, so Madele, let's look at one or two other very important issues. Um, has Medupi returned to the returning of the Medupi Unit 4 to service? We were told it will be returned to service by April 2024. But do you know if work is being done to make to ascertain that that will in fact happen?
That blew up, and we saw the pictures in the media. That particular unit, under the information that it has not been returned yet, but most of the units
That's
are
that's
back.
in Netherlands as we speak. It's gone for repairs, I understand.
Yes, but the other five units, remember, they're giving us a brilliant energy availability factor. And I think the numbers were in the upper 90s in terms of availability factor. So, whereas before, even though that unit was still out, but the energy availability factor of the available units now also hovering at 60%, 58%. Now, look at that marked improvement, operating in the upper 90. Because it's a brand new power station, there's no reason. Of course, there are challenges here and there. There will be periods where these problems keep coming up, but there are many good times now where those units are hanging on to a high energy availability factor. Yeah, the other unit is not back in service yet.
We understand that there are plans afoot to establish a one-stop shop for energy projects. What's that all about? What will it look like? How soon will it be implemented?
I'll be lying. I have no idea, and I have no idea.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. What about the issues around projects? I understand that there are remaining 7 projects under bid Windows 5 and 6. Where do we stand on that? What does that mean to you and I as ordinary consumers of energy?
100%. I like that question. Of course, Minister Mantashe has said we're going to be, I'm talking about as a country, all of us, including yourself, we are going to be releasing bit Windows 7 and bit Windows 8. And they attach very good numbers. And remember, these things, when they come, they literally speak to the renewable energy, wind and solar backed with the batteries. and some small technologies here and there. So what this means for all of us is that we must support the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Mantashe, because when he came in with previous bid Windows 6, and that's why they hate him with colonial settlers, is because he said, can this thing deliver? You know, when you sign a contract, you've got to ask that question, can this thing deliver? The next question was, what does can this thing deliver mean? It means when we need the power more from 5 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning, and from 5 o'clock in the evening to 10 o'clock in the evening. And those questions wanted to supply whenever there is wind and whenever there is solar. So they had to go and back up their offering with the free. It's expensive. So to answer the question, we're looking forward to Mr. Mantashe putting his foot down. But if you tell us that you'll be able to supply the power, that's why he's hated so much. Because of those Windows 6 that we had been told that they've been signed and sealed, all of them became bankable once started asking the question, can you deliver? So hopefully Windows 7 and Windows 8, he will emphasize on this being able to apply the most.
Okay, Zakhele, your line is breaking up badly, and I have run out of time as well. So let's leave it there till the next time I speak with you, which hopefully will be sometime soon. So you go well.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. That was Zakhele Madela, an independent energy expert, talking about, according to him, lots of positive moves happening within Eskom and all of the power plants. And hopefully, as per his belief, our energy woes will end sooner rather than later. 9:58 exactly. We'll go for a short ad break and then we'll be joined by Bahle Sibanda. He is standing by. He is a political activist. He's a student at WITS. He's a writer and a poet, and he's going to be explaining to us the new banking system for NASFAS and how that's going to be holding the students in good stead. So that will be our final interview. Do stay with us. This is News and
SAEF's Meals Distribution Project aims to create food security for those in need.